moving along, another critical topic that I want to get into is treatment. And I want to break it into three parts. Let's start, the first thing of treatment is right at the core, the importance of someone who has an issue with drugs, the importance of getting into treatment.
The importance of getting into treatment, when you do have a problem, it's very significant, as well as assessing, what level of treatment that you need. Do you need to be detoxed? Are you is a client okay to go to an outpatient clinic and speak to a therapist? So it's my responsibility as a therapist and many others who work in the field to assess for clients and to really, refer clients accurately based on their own levels of addiction. So, I think that's part of it, but the other half is, the client's motivation to have treatment. We could talk to, when we're blue in the face, and we could, try to help out as many clients as possible, but ultimately it's their motivation that's success. And, as a therapist, you really are just walking through them and they're leading the way, and you're with them. So the biggest aspect is recognizing, what level of care that you need, and then following through with that treatment and having that as a part of your life, and making sure that your environment also is able to allow you to succeed and support, your treatment. I think that's very big. So many clients that I see, they're doing great, but many around them don't buy into, the level of care that they're getting, or they don't believe that treatment is necessary. So having a whole culture that really buys into treatment and understands the value of it, and for family supportive systems to also be on board, is huge. But it really starts with, when it comes to addiction, it starts and ends with the client. And many people could help, but they're the ones who make the real change with anything. So yes. Okay.
Carrie, your thoughts on the importance of treatment?
I come from a different standpoint. Definitely treatment is important, but I think that there's different facets to treatment. I'm in a private practice, and I specialize in working with adolescents and young adults. And so when somebody comes to see me and they're still using, I won't turn them away. But 9 times out of 10, they need to get to the point where they want to stop. If they see it as a problem, then we work into referring them for outpatient or even inpatient treatment. But I do think that, again, going back to what we were saying, that we as a society have failed, and we need to look at where that person's at. We need to look at all the demographic factors involved, where they're living, what their race is, what their culture is. In some races and cultures, substance abuse is not an issue. Who's saying it's an issue? And are they ready, like Jacob had said, are they ready to stop? If they don't feel that it's an issue, then we can't accept it. It's not going to work. Treatment's not going to work. They have to be ready to do that. And again, as a system, everything needs to be looked at in order to give that person treatment. And I think also that HMOs, for example, if you don't have the best health insurance, that's going to come out in the treatment that you receive.
Okay, thank you. Here. Okay. Howie? Yeah.
To follow up on that, I think it would be great to get the perspective of Joe Prisco about people in denial that don't think they need treatment, even though they have a problem. So I want to ask Joe Prisco, is it sometimes where a person absolutely, positively has to hit rock bottom, because that denial will always say, I'm not so bad, he's worse than me, this and that. So talk about your experiences with denial and finally succumbing and saying, I need to get into treatment.
Yeah, I think denial is a big part of it. Like I said, I was trying to get clean for 9 years, coming in and out. And I hit every rock bottom that you would think of. I lost apartments, houses, girlfriends, dogs, family's love, mother's love, brother's love, friends, jobs, dreams. Lost everything. And still, the problem with my sick brain is, I find a way to convince myself that I could get all those things back because I've done it before. And to be honest with you, everybody's bottom's different, because the only bottom that for me helped me, let God into my life and actually pursue this thing with 100% effort was an emotional bottom and a spiritual bottom. When you get to the point where you felt like every single demon inside you ate away any good part of you, and there's nothing left, and you're just paralyzed, and you just feel like you were destined to be a piece of shit and just not live a healthy life. And like I said, you have no good part of you inside. That's scary. When you truly lose yourself, you can lose a lot of things, but when you truly lose yourself, it's a very scary thing. And that emotional and spiritual bottom, that's the only thing that did it for me. So everything else I lost, I was in denial because I just thought it wasn't a big deal. I thought those external sources is what I needed inside to be happy and to live a fulfilling life. And it kind of doesn't make sense using external sources to feel good inside and have inner peace. So I had to be totally depleted before I had any kind of hope and any kind of growth as far as that inner peace goes and actually working towards a better life. I had to be totally depleted of that. And that's what I think the biggest problem is with addiction in general, is everybody has a different bottom. I've heard people speak that still had houses, cars, all the things you would think you'd want in life, but they hit their emotional and spiritual bottom and they changed. For other people, they have to be homeless, lose everything. For some people, they have to be near death. Everybody's different, and everybody's emotional and spiritual bottom's different, and that's what I think is so scary about this disease. So, yeah, I think denial plays a big part in it, and I think everybody's right as far as you have to be ready. And not only that, I wanted to change many times, but I wasn't willing to do the work. And to me, everything in this world, if you look at any success story, it was done with hard work. But what came before that was a belief within themselves that hard work was going to pay off, the belief that if I do this work, I can be successful. So that willingness and that belief, I think, comes when you have nothing left except belief. So. Why?
Just go ahead. I don't even know how to follow up that. So it's pretty good. Yeah, denial plays a large role in the addict's mind state. I feel like drugs and alcohol really cloud the clear conscious thinking of how a person really thinks, reacts, and certain situations. I go to a 12-step program, and step number 1 is we admitted, and that's the the first thing right there. You have to admit that you do have a problem and your life's unmanageable, and you have to identify that you are an addict or an alcoholic. And I see it all the time with people who come in and out of the program, and they're just in denial. They feel like then life's not all that bad. They still got the car, the job, the woman in their life, and it's honestly everyone else's fault, but everyone's but theirs. And I've been there, and I went to treatment when I was 24 years old, and I went down to inpatient down in Florida, and came back. I made it to 46 days, and I went right back out to drinking and saw how worse my life got. But I was in denial. I thought everything was being held together because I was making a lot of money on Wall Street, and I had the car, and I had the girl, and things were just, like the external factors. Everything on the outside was making me feel good on the inside. But when the drugs and the drinking really stopped working, and I was left there with myself, which was the real problem, I had to really throw in the white flag and really admit and surrender, and really allow myself to have a new way of thinking. And that was definitely by letting go to my old habits and really getting out of my own denial, and to admit to myself and everyone else around me that loved me and that I did have a problem, and I was willing to work on it 100%.